Guitar tips, guitar tips, just the tips, just for you. Guitar tips. Hello and welcome to Guitar Tips. My name is Adam Levy. This is my weekly video blog series. I post a brand new tip here each and every Friday. Just the tips, just for you. Solo le punto, solo le punto, solo per te. That is very broken Italian for, well, you know what it's for. I'm here in Tuscany, in a beautiful villa in a little town not too far from Siena. Wow. I'm on holiday, but I wanted to continue with the tips. And this week's tip, before I get to the tip, I just want to mention one thing about the t-shirts. There are now Guitar Tips t-shirts for sale, as you may have noticed in the last couple tips I've mentioned them. And there's information down below in the description if you're interested in a t-shirt. You can learn how to get one. Apparently, I have worded the sales pitch down below in a confusing way. This is what a couple people have told me. To be clear, the t-shirts themselves are $15. If you see me in person and you want to buy one at a gig or a master class or whatever, they're $15. If you'd like me to ship you one in the USA, it's $22. That includes the t-shirt and the shipping and the envelope and the trip to the post office and what have you. That's all inclusive. It's not 15 plus 22. 22 is the cost including shipping, and same with the price for international. It's all in. So lest anyone think it's 15 plus some crazy amount of shipping and handling, that's not what it is. So everybody cool with that, I hope. Order your t-shirt now. They're going fast. They're going. Okay, on with this week's tip, which is now is too late. Now is too late. And what I'm talking about, you may want to go back and watch tip number 60, which is don't play the bar lines. This is a related topic. It has to do with playing over chord changes, which is something we see a lot in jazz and to a lesser extent in other styles, but certainly you can improvise in a way, in a linear way that addresses changing harmonies in lots of different styles. I'm going to focus on jazz for now, just to keep this tip, on point, hopefully. I know I get a little, I talk a lot sometimes. I'm going to try and keep this one a little bit shorter. So let's say you are trying to get from A minor 7 to D9 in a linear way. And if you had one measure of each, you might play something like 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I did there, I don't know what I played exactly because I didn't plan it, but it's something like this. That's over the A minor 7. Those are eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then when I get to the D9 or D7, I'm playing an F sharp, which is the third. So I'm really addressing the chords here. I'm playing chord tones out of the A minor 7. And when I get to the D7 or D9, I make sure to play an F sharp on the downbeat, because that's really the clear indicator in a melodic way and a harmonic way that we've gone from A minor 7 to D7. They share a scale in common because they're both part of the G major scale. You could think of it as A Dorian if you're into modes, or you could think of it as D Mixolydian. Those are two different names for the same set of notes. And the G major scale, or G Ionian, is another name for the same set of notes. But when we talk about playing over changes and really addressing the chords, it has to do with playing certain notes from the chord on the downbeat of each measure, and some people would say also on the third beat. So if you emphasize the third, this is C is the third of A minor 7, and the seventh, that's G is the seventh, or of A minor 7. If you emphasize those notes on beats 1 and 3, most of the time, you're going to really clearly outline an A minor 7 harmony. So I could play 2, 3, 4. That's it. 2, 3, 4. I'll try again. It's hard to think and count and play at the same time, but that's what I'm trying to do. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 and 4. So on 1 and 3 beats in the A minor 7 bar, I'm emphasizing the third and the seventh, and it really helps your ear hear that. And on the D7, the C is the 7 of D7. So if I emphasize the C note, it's not going to really help your ear hear the D7, because it's a note we've already heard on the A, even when the bass player goes to D. But if we play the F sharp, that's the third of the D7, really suggests that there's been a change. We've gone from this to this. So when we talk about playing over changes, that's really what it is. It's thinking melodically, but in a way that squares up with the chords as they change. Now, the problem with that, and here's where this tip really begins, the problem with that is that things can start to sound a little bit bookish, for lack of a better word, or kind of by the book, or like square. And that's okay, but it's not particularly jazzy, or there's not a lot of forward momentum. It's very much, like taking a dance class, and they teach you put your right foot here, and I'll put your left foot here, right and left and right and left. And you never would get the sense of a real forward flow. And anytime we're improvising in jazz or any other style, really, we really need to have a sense of forward flow. And one of the ways that I really like to do that is by thinking ahead to where I'm going, thinking about the next bar, or if you're in a bar that has multiple chord changes, thinking about the next chord in the bar, or thinking about the next bar, or if things are moving even more slowly, you have a couple bars of each chord, you can think ahead. I mean, I think really great improvisers could think 4 bars ahead, 8 bars ahead, 12 bars, 16, very far ahead. And so when you project out to some future point in the tune that's where you really want to land, there's this pull to get there, that you're going to have a really solid landing point, the end of a long phrase at a certain point. And if you don't think that way, if you just look through this little peephole and see, okay, I'm on A minor 7 now, and then that's done, we'll go to the D7, and that's done now, and now we go to the G7. It's not a very compelling way to play, or it's not a very compelling way to make music. I don't think you will draw people in, because there's not much tension. You can set up tension by playing a flat 9 on the D7, or some chromatic passing tone. But if you hide them in between the beats and line up everything real square, yeah, there can be some tension and release, but there's not a real sense of flow. So let's say we wanted to play, I'm going to play now a bar of A minor, just as we did, bar of A minor 7 and a bar of D7, but I'm going to try and think ahead to the D7. So I don't really linger on the A minor 7. It's almost as if I'm thinking about D7 immediately. 2, 3, 4. And you can see I got to that F sharp real early. I don't have any backing tracks or a looper pedal or anything. So you have to use your imagination. 2, 3, 4. And I played on the D7. The last note I played was B, which you could look at as the 13 of D7. But of course, A minor 7 and D7 or D9 is likely going to some kind of G major chord. And so that B, it landed on the last eighth note of the D7 bar. It was on the beat 4 and. So it anticipated the G chord, which is where we're going. So I'm going to now do that a little bit more. I'm going to think a bar, and a bar, and really try to get to that G chord as quickly as I can in my imagination. 2, 3, 4. I ended on the G on the downbeat, which is a little bit square, but I'm just going to do a few of these, not overthink it or over-explain it. 2, 3, 4. Two, three, 4. 2, 3, 4. Might help you to play the chords behind what I'm doing, as like rewind a little bit here and play the chords and you can hear it. But I'm always looking forward, So when I say now is too late, what I mean is if you're trying to address the chord as it happens, looking through this kind of little peephole, it's too late. It's too late. Everybody else in the band is moving forward. The bass player and drummer, they're moving forward. And if you're on the chord that's happening now, it's too late. You need to be thinking forward. And I say the bass player and drummer, you might be on a solo guitar gig. That's a great place to be. Even then, there's still another player besides you, which is the listener. In a sense, you're playing a duet with the listener and their own imagination. And if you're always lining up in an expectable, predictable way, there's just not much give and take. There's not much tension, which is so much an exciting part of music. So now is too late. Always be looking forward. Eventually, the bass player and drummer or piano player or bassoonist or a listener's imagination will catch up, and it'll be a beautiful moment when if you're a little bit ahead and then the catch-up happens. It's so beautiful. So that's the tip this week. Again, you might want to go back and watch tip number 60, which is don't play the bar lines. Similar idea. And that's it for this week's guitar tips. Now is too late. Thank you to Martin Guitar Strings for their continuing support, and thank you as well for yours. I'm Adam Levy in a little town outside of Siena in Tuscany, Italy. For guitar tips, stay tuned and take good care.